And we're getting the channel memberships rolling. What's up, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Give me 1 second. Come on. There we go. Okay. Who was first today? Is even a question. Wait, why did it not let me scroll up? Because my pin message is in the way. Pretty sure it was Craig. Can anyone else see? I can't see it. My pin message is in the way. Yeah, it's Craig. What's up, Craig? What up, Chris? What's up, R Flet? Staying 2007. We got Mag78, who just got their passport to go to LTX. LTX is how many? Shoot, what is the official day for LTX? I got a bad memory. LTX 2023. Okay, so end of July. I need to remember that. But nice. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Akata? What up, KL130? 2.5 months till LTX. A little bit over 2.5, because it is at the end of the month. But yeah, I think there's a number of people who usually are in the stream that are going to be going, so it'll be nice. I will be doing a video with some type of a contest at LTX. So if you are going to LTX, definitely keep an eye out on like the Discord and stuff, or either on Twitter, and I'll announce it because I'm gonna have a like live contest for a video. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Jerome? Chris says passport stuff is backed up last I heard, so it's good to get it out of the way. Did mine last July. Yeah, so my passport expires at the end of this year. I can't believe it's been 10 years since, coming up on 10 years since I first got my passport. But 10 years is a really long time. It's just over time you forget about it. And yeah, mine's expiring this year. I'm good for LTX, but pretty much after LTX, I think my passport expires like September or October of this year. So I need to put in the renewal. So I've only ever applied for a passport once. I don't remember, like, when you apply for a passport, do you have to send in your old one? I forget, is that a thing? With passports being backed up, I wouldn't want to risk having to send in my current passport. Yeah, passports do expire. Yeah, see? Okay, so you know what the most annoying thing for me about passports and stuff is? Because I remember the first time they requested either my social security card or my birth certificate, or maybe both. It's been a while. It's been 10 years. But like the fact that they require you to mail in official documents like that, as opposed to a photocopy, which I get, they want to make sure it's a legit version that's not photoshopped or doctored. But still, I feel very uneasy sending things like that in the mail because it could get lost, get stolen, etc. So like having to send in my current passport and try to get it back before LTX, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to renew my passport after LTX. Yeah, passports expire. I don't know what the expirations are, if it's always 10 years or if there are like shorter term ones, but yeah. Where's LTX? LTX is happening in Vancouver. So, Vancouver, Canada. If you look on a map here. So here is me. Here's Washington State. I'm down here. I'm actually a little bit north of Seattle, so I'm up here. I'm in this area. And then Vancouver is, bam, up here. I forget where. Well, we can actually type in LMG and find where. Is this Linus? I think this is where Linus is. I think. But then the actual LTX is happening at the convention center. So. Got a Z87 and i5 4570 for 30. Great deal. Until the CPU ended up being dead. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, a motherboard processor, it's older, but it's for 30 bucks, you can't complain, especially since that's like a Z board. So, hey, that motherboard for that price probably isn't that bad either, even if the CPU is dead. Do you know if the motherboard is dead? That's the only issue. Did you spend 30 bucks on complete dead hardware? Because if you look at like Z87 motherboards, I'm sure these still retain their value. Yeah. Let me see what the cheapest one you can buy in working condition is. By the way, for tonight's stream, we're just gonna be chill. I think I'm just gonna be browsing parts and looking at prices of stuff. Not too much in terms of tech news going on. I guess the biggest thing is, so Gamers Nexus released their video about the bulging AMD or AM5 processors and things like that. But I think in terms of tech news, that was the biggest thing that was on my radar. Unless there was anything else that you guys heard about or know about, or something I could have just glossed over. I've been pretty deep in editing mode this past week, so I've been limited to how much stuff I could consume. Yeah, see, the thing about, you can buy plenty of dead motherboards for these prices, but they're all parts only. Let's see what the cheapest Z87 motherboard is. Open box, new, refurbish. Who would be selling a new Z87 board? Here's a used one for 50 bucks. Yeah, 55. These are actually in working conditions with no issues. Seems pretty cheap. I would have thought they would be more. Not testing. We'll give refund if not working. Okay, I figured. 50 bucks seems kind of cheap for a high-end motherboard, regardless of what generation it's from. Motherboards are dumb like that. They hold their value. Shane Eslick says, in Australia, you apply for your passport in person at the post office. I'm trying to think. I think the passport, or I guess you can do it online now, but I think when I originally did it, I might have gotten the form from the post office. But yeah, I mean, I would totally prefer to do it in person, and maybe like a short interview thing, and not have to give up my birth certificate / social security card, because that's just sketch. Bakata says, I like the cut, king. Thank you. You noticed I actually just got a haircut yesterday. Now I wish Melissa could cut hair, because then I could save. I get my haircut about once a month, and it's like 30 something bucks after tip, because I like my barber. I've been going to her for I think a decade plus now, so I make sure to tip her well, especially like in this economy. But nah, if Melissa could cut even close to this quality of like fading and stuff, then I would have her do it and save, potentially like 400 bucks a year. But alas, she cannot, and I'm not willing to do a test trial to see if she can cut my hair, because if she does and messes up, I'm going to end up bald for a little bit while the hair grows back and fixes itself. But yeah, I don't mind though. Going to the barber is pretty nice. Like after it gets cut and everything, she like shampoos my hair, massages my scalp a bit, and then we have like a nice conversation and everything, so it's pretty nice. AMD is releasing new GPUs. Yeah, so we did talk about that last week. I don't know if there's been any new information really. I guess we could look up the leaks or like look up the articles. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's that much more new information aside from the big leak from Igor's lab. But the new GPUs, pretty exciting regardless. Here's the thing. So Jerome says 7600 XT is a big fail. Only 8 gigabytes of VRAM, while they've been mocking NVIDIA for VRAM. That is true. They did put out the post how their 6000 series pretty much across the board had more VRAM than what NVIDIA was offering. If they do offer the 7600 XT at only 8 gigabytes of VRAM, that wouldn't look too good on them. But regardless of if a GPU does good or bad, I think the news is still exciting, because it is still a new product release, and yeah, it's still interesting to watch, right? It's interesting to watch whether or not a company is bringing good value to consumers, or if they're like you know, out of touch and bringing bad value. Like, I still enjoy watching product reviews even when it is hilariously bad. So, new GPUs is gonna be exciting for sure. Bobby Douglas is gonna listen to the stream while playing PC Build Simulator. Isn't there a new PC Build Simulator out? PC Build Simulator 2? Epic Games. Oh, that came out in end of last year, so about 6 months ago. Is this that much better than the original one? I've barely played the original one. I own it, but... Is it on Steam? Publisher, Epic Games. Wait, what? They went only Epic on this one? Discord link. Oh yeah, let me update the Discord link real quick, cause actually it's in the description. Can anyone tell me if that one's working or not? I just generated it before stream, but Discord links have been really wonky for me. Chris, when he goes to get his haircuts, he goes to the Mexican ladies. In and out in 15 minutes. Yeah, my haircuts are pretty fast. Short buzz cut with fades are pretty fast. $15 though? Dang. Yeah, I pay like double that and then tip. But yeah, there's not, especially where I am, there's not a bunch of barbers that are cheap. There is like super cuts and stuff like that, but still, I swear those big chain ones, they're still like $20 or something. It's just, you know, being in Seattle or nearby Seattle, that's just what the price is, so. Our flat hasn't had a haircut since COVID lockdowns. Dang, so that's like 3-ish years. So I remember when COVID first hit and we were on like, you know, full lockdown. I normally get my haircut every month. I think I went 3 or 4 months in that time before everything opened up at least a little bit for me to get a haircut. So at that point, you can see it in the videos. My hair got really long and ridiculous, but... Link is invalid? Oh my... Okay, watch. Let me make a new one. So... let's see. So I will show you guys how it's made. I don't think anything private is shown here. So I go here. Where is it at? Invite people. We'll go to... I'm going to edit the invite link. So I have it expired just so that I don't have permanent links out there. I'll do no limit. So generate a new link. There it is. Let's see if this one works. All right, now the new link should hopefully work. Talk about graphics cards though. So this is gonna be interesting due to the prices of what AMD's graphics cards were. If we're talking about like the 7600, 7600 XT. Because the MSRP for the 6600 was $330, and the MSRP of the 6600 XT was, I think, $679. So it will. I've seen a lot of people posting, hoping that either the 7600 or 7600 XT are going to be like $250. I just don't see them regressing on the price. Even though the current pricing of these cards are lower now, can y'all think of a time, off the top of your head, where a new generation of cards released, and for that same, like, tier of card in the stack, like if we're talking about like 770s, 970s, 1070s, has the price ever reduced to lower than the previous generations of card? I can't think off the top of my head, but if you know of one, let us know in the chat. So just because of that, I don't see the 7600 being less than 330 bucks, and I don't see the 7600 XT being less than 370 bucks. But yeah, and then there's inflation too. So if anything, I'm thinking 7600 XT might be set 400, and 7600 might keep the same 330 or maybe 350. So Box says, I want the 6700 for 250. How much are those going for right now, actually? The 6700 was kind of like that weird card that released a little bit after the fact. And I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to easily find it. Yeah, so the cheapest one is 300 here. But if you go a little bit more to 350, you can already get the 6700 XT. I'm sure in the used market, you could get a 6700 close to that. But yeah, I mean, if the performance is gonna have to be closer to a 38 or 6800 level to be worth anything near 350 to 400 bucks. 6700, okay, used market is actually not looking that good. This is the XT though for 270. So 80 bucks off of a one fan defect, of course. This one's refurbished, 289. Oof. Yeah, 6700. I just don't think it was that popular of a card. Where we have used ones. This one's a used one going for nearly as much as what a new one costs. 7600 DOA at 300 plus. Yeah, so it's all going to depend on how it stacks up to the previous generation. The only issue, well, not the only issue, but is the one thing to note is the new generation is going to come with better ray tracing performance. I think that's a given. You know, it's going to be their next generation. So if it has better ray tracing performance, as well as it has AB1 encoding, but I'm going to ask right now. We're going to do the first poll of the day. GPU has AB1 encoding. So remember, AB1 encoding is not it's not just for like streamers. There's other ways to use it. You know, video editors, or if you want to like, if you're a content creator, not just a content creator, but let's say you're just an editor, but not for YouTube or anything like that. There are other industries that can use it. I just don't know how much for like the people who attend this stream. I feel like most of us would classify ourselves as gamers, right? There's some other content creators in here, but I would say the majority of us are gamers. So how much would you actually care about AB1 encoding? Yeah. Would it be half the space, Chris? I've only barely messed around with AB1 encoding, or transcoding and things like that. Well, I actually did the AB1 encoding for just recording when I was playing around with the art cards, and maybe I didn't get the settings right. But even with like a much lower bitrate, I didn't notice the file size getting that much smaller. It wasn't half. It was closer to like, I think like 75 to 80%. It's not, it would be nice for things like Discord screen share. Now the question is, how many people also do like screen share often on Discord and things like that? There are definitely use cases for it, but I'm just curious, like for you guys in the chat, if you were to buy a graphics card, like is AB1 encoding one of the requirements? Like, do you care about it enough to make your graphics card choice buying decision on it? Because that is going to be one of the selling points of like a lower end AMD, you know, next generation, or I guess this current generation of card. Bakata, my homework folder is getting big. Yeah. So are you gonna transcode all of that yourself? How long would it take to transcode a 1 terabyte homework folder? Chris, do you know, or if anybody, do you know is AV1 encoding available for YouTube right now? I've been seeing that it's either in beta or now officially in OBS, but is it supported on the YouTube side? See, you need this adoption across multiple levels. You need it on the hardware itself, you need it on the software, and then you need it on the platform that you're going to. So that's 3 levels of adoption that up until now I don't think was achieved. But now we have it on the graphics cards. I think it's implemented in OBS. I don't know if it's implemented on YouTube side yet. One good thing about it would be lower data would be for viewers, especially ones with data caps or in different countries. You can watch the same quality of stream without, you know, buffering as much and using as much of your data. Yeah, see, that's the only issue. Like, up till now, there's been a decent level of excitement for AV1 encoding, but for the general consumer, it hasn't been readily available. You either had to get like beta drivers or beta software, and not all the platforms even like was able to utilize it. I don't know if YouTube is. I think Twitch is, but yeah, I'm gonna switch over to it once it's readily available. Once it's available, I'll throw in the ARC A770 into my system, and I'll daily drive this as well as use it for, you know, everything that I do: content creation, streaming, gaming, all that. Yeah, and then like Premiere Pro, one of the biggest like used in a ton of different industries programs, doesn't even have it natively built in yet. You have to do workarounds and do plugins and stuff. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to make my life easier. I'm already doing a lot of different stuff. I don't want to have to like play around and make, you know, and deal with programs that are like finicky and stuff like that. Mikhail Eskandari says, what would be a good upgrade to, you mean from RX 580? Budget is under 200. Used cards is fine. What is 200 British pounds to USD? So 250, I mean, first of all, you're on the RX 580, so I would assume that you're already good. You're cool with AMD. For 250 USD or 200 British pounds about, I don't know what pricing is like over in the UK, but I would assume you might be able to get a RX 6600. It's either 6600 or 6600 XT or 6650 XT. That's your best bet. If you're going for used, you should definitely be able to find something in that ballpark. Nvidia side of things, it's a little bit tougher to try to pull a 3060 with that. And I wouldn't recommend a 3050 at that price point, so. Yeah, so it's weird, right? Oh, that's gonna be the next poll. So, in terms of, let's end this poll right now because most of the people already voted. In a GPU, do you care about AV1 encoding? So almost 2/3 of the people said they do not care at the moment, anyways. But we'll see if that changes. So here's the next poll for your internet plan at home. Do you have a data cap? And if so, what is your cap? I think when I was with Comcast, we did have a data cap, and it was 1 terabyte. I ate through that 1 terabyte so fast, just because when you're downloading and benchmarking games, sure, it would be nice to have a drive that could transfer stuff, but there's some games you can't just use like an external drive to transfer it from one system to another. Fortnite is one of them. The Epic Game Store, if they make it such a hassle to detect already existing games, you pretty much have to re-download the game if you want to have it on like a new system that you just built. You can't just drop it in with like a thumb drive or an external. So I used to hit my data cap so much, but now I'm on fiber internet with no data cap, and it's so nice. I easily eat through over a terabyte just from Steam games alone. Young Ministry says, any budget monitors? We could actually take a look at this in a second. For 21 to 24, you're going to want to go 24 inches. 21 is super tiny. At least 75 hertz? Yeah, we'll take a look at Amazon in a second. Hybrid says, how much would you sell a Ryzen 1600 GTX 1660 Super and 16 gigs of RAM with like a half a terabyte NVMe for? I mean, that sounds in the ballpark of like a $500-ish PC. Without knowing like the case, motherboard, power supply. If you're using more premium ones, then maybe a little bit more, but I would think like 500 to 600 with you pocketing some change, or you know, you making a little bit of profit on it. People are willing to pay like $500-600 for a gaming capable system, which the Ryzen 1600 is a little bit old, but I mean, you're not pairing a super powerful graphics card with it. It's a 1660. Those go together decently well, so yeah, I mean, a lot of people out there are just willing to pay for a system that works. And that would be it. How are they going to cap your home data? The way they cap it is they charge you more. They monitor how much you're... So the data cap works for both upload and downloading, which kind of sucks. Because like when I upload videos to YouTube, they're anywhere from like 2, 3, 4 gigs sometimes. So... it tracks your total up and download, and then once you hit 1 terabyte, they charge you $20 per 50 gig or something like that. It's ridiculous. Or you can pay for an unlimited plan for more with some of these crappy companies out there. The good companies don't have data caps. Yeah, Chris doesn't have a data cap, but has 10... Do you have Comcast, Chris? I forget. Yeah, that is where AV1 would be good. You're right. When you are limited by your upload, and if you're able to cut the bit rate and just make it like a lower data stream, yeah, that would be really good. Daniel Hulon says, first live stream I'm actually been able to watch live. Awesome. Welcome to the stream. We just chill here every single week on Wednesdays. Just chilling, talking about random tech stuff, PC stuff, all that. Citrus said, I had nothing else to watch on YouTube the last few weeks, so I started to watch your older videos. Are you watching those older videos for the first time, Citrus? Or are you going back to rewatch them? Some of my older videos, sometimes I go back to watch them, and a lot of them I cringe at, just because, you know, everybody in their early YouTube days are, you're still learning, you're camera shy, etc., all of that stuff. Okay, let's quickly take a look at monitors real quick. If you're looking for 20 budget monitors, I mean, do you care about like the panel type at all? 75 hertz isn't that hard to get, but let's just see. Man, monitors get very cheap very fast. So we got a Scepter one, 75 hertz LED. They don't. If it was IPS, I think it would say it on here. But let's see. I would go for at least 24 inch. Yeah, 20 inch is way too small. But we've got stuff easily under $100. If you're looking for something that's not too big, 24 inches under, you know, that's not high refresh rate, you've got a ton of options for 75 hertz. This one's curved. What? I don't think you need a curved monitor at 24 inches normal aspect ratio at all. Yeah, Kevin Go makes a good point. So if you want to buy... Actually, I wonder if any of these... 22 is also too small. Let me see. So sometimes if we go to Amazon, if they have any open box or used stuff, yeah, this one doesn't have it, but let's see, Amazon Warehouse. Amazon Warehouse is really nice to get some pretty much brand new stuff at a discount. So let's look at 75 hertz monitor and see if we can find anything on Amazon Warehouse. So we've got, ooh, like look at this one. This is a 34 inch, 75 hertz, but this is an ultra wide. I think this, whoa, wait. Oh man, this one's a 3440 by 1440. So it's just not high refresh rate though. But yeah, something like this for 220. Kind of crazy for the screen real estate that you get there. Yeah, 24 inch was basically what I was using before I went ultra wide. And I think that's, I feel like 27 starts to get too big, especially at 1080p. And then I don't know how people can do 32 inch monitors. That's like a mini TV. It's sitting in front of you. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay. Here's a 21 inch monitor for 60 bucks. 27 inch. Here's a 24 inch Asus one. IPS. Whoa. Look at this one. 24 inches, 75 hertz, IPS. What is for 65 bucks and straight from Amazon. Who's the seller? Does it say? This is sold by Amazon Warehouse. Yeah, fulfilled by Amazon. So you're not buying from a third-party seller. Is there free returns? And it's free returns. So the reason why I would rather buy off of Amazon for sure over Newegg, because I think Amazon's just way more lenient with returns. If this monitor ends up sucking, not being to your liking, have dead pixels or anything, I think it's a lot easier to return. This, what does it say? Is this used acceptable? Oh, used acceptable. So someone is, Donnie all day says, I've had bad experience with that. Yeah, so let me post this link real quick. Let me get the short link. But the thing is, if there's something like actually inherently wrong with it, if it's just cosmetics, I would personally be okay with it. But if there's something actually wrong with it, like it flickers or has any other issues, it has free returns. And Amazon, they'll pay for the shipping back. So let me get the link for this. Asus monitor, yeah, so I don't know, like I don't think it gets that much cheaper than this when it comes to buying from an online retailer. Now if you are looking for monitors though, like your used OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, that's definitely gonna be your best bet. Like let's take a look right now in my area. So we look on OfferUp right now. Let's just look at monitor, just generic monitor search. And we can put in, I'm gonna do, we'll do 30 miles local only, and we're gonna max it out at 50 bucks. Let's see, anti-glare filter, 24 inch monitors, look at this. I don't know, what brand is this? 20 bucks though. Like, what? This was posted 10 hours ago. It's probably gonna get snatched up pretty fast. What are these? 2 times planar, 24 inch, great. Okay, these are the models. Okay, let's see if we can find it on Google. So planar, okay. I've never owned a planar monitor before. Price on listing is for both monitors. You get 2 monitors for 20 bucks. What else we got in my local area? Here's an Acer one for, I mean, this one's 50 bucks. So the good thing also, you gotta consider buying in person is you save on taxes, right? Like, even if this other one, if I bought this, this would effectively be like 73 bucks. Or 70, more like 72 bucks due to tax. Whereas this one, not only could you probably, wow, this was posted only a day ago, so it's probably still available. I could probably haggle this down to 40 bucks and not pay tax on it. So yeah, for monitors, unless you're going for something that's specialty, like if I was trying to buy an ultra wide monitor, I probably won't really find them on OfferUp. But if you're looking for a really run-of-the-mill standard 1080p, not high refresh rate, your local marketplaces are probably littered with them. So yeah. Simon Lee says ultra wide master race. To be honest, yeah, actually. So let's go on Amazon and where's the used? Let's see if there's any cheap ultra wide monitors. Like, what is the cheapest ultra wide that we could find? The cheapest one that I bought was a 29-inch LG, which is my upper monitor right now, for $100 on OfferUp. So it's only a 1080p 60 hertz, but it's still ultra wide. And I have it as my upper non-gaming monitor, so it works fine for additional screen real estate, as well as like I have my OBS as well as my music player playing up there for the streams. But if we were to go and look for the cheapest ultra wide monitor we could find from Amazon Warehouse, it would be, this is almost my exact monitor. So yeah, 137 though, not bad for coming from Amazon. Again, check your local marketplaces though. You might be able to get it for cheaper. They've got a ton of these really expensive ones. Look at this, $800. I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of how much the most I've ever spent on a monitor. I don't think I've spent more than like $300, maybe $350 on a monitor. Yeah, I'm definitely not a monitor or screen snob. And I've seen side-by-sides, like, you know, when you go to, like, in person to check it out in stores, you can see, like, what the $900 monitor looks like compared to, like, the $150 monitor. I'd see a visual difference. I just don't know if I want to pay a whole desktop computer's worth of a price difference to get that nicer monitor. Especially since I don't know, I feel like the prices, they do tend to drop pretty fast. Like, ultra-wide, high refresh rate monitors, over the years, their prices have gone down dramatically fast. So, I'm happy with the monitors that I have. I don't spend a ton on them, but that's just me. I know some people think the monitor is like, it's more important to spend more on the monitor than the actual computer itself, which I think is kind of crazy. Psychoholic spent $1,700 on your LG. This model, what is this? $1,700. What is this monitor? It's the 38-inch Ultra Gear. Okay, so it is ultra wide. $1,700. I'm just so. Is this what the? So this is a 1600p monitor. Nano IPS, man. Yeah, I couldn't imagine spending this much on a monitor. It's because for me I don't get that much. I don't get, let's say compared to a $300 monitor, I don't get $1,400 more worth of enjoyment out of that. But that's definitely just personally me. Well, your monitor is the one place where all that horsepower you paid for inside your rig will be seen. Well, definitely my rig is worth definitely less than $1,700. But no, you make a good point. A lot of people buy, like, when they buy their monitor, they use it for like many years to come, right? Like 3, 4, 5, 6 years even. So it could definitely be worth the investment if you span it over that amount of time. Hobbs says, I think when you bump up to OLED, it's completely different. Yeah. Some of the features or specs on the monitors, just for having, and I'm not saying it's just buzzwords, but just for having like that higher end tech in it, it just easily doubles, triples, quadruples the price of a monitor. Kevin, oh yeah, so Kevin's got a kind of more budget range AOC ultra wide. I have an Acer ultra wide 1440p. 144 hertz. Again, I think my wife spent, I forgot it was on sale for 250 or 350 or something like that, but it's definitely not a super high-end monitor by any means. Yeah, there we go, Craig Lilly. Samsung 34-inch ultra wide for 280. Is that a 1080p one? Oh no, it's a 1440p. Yeah, so like if you don't need high refresh rate, something like this just for media consumption or for gaming, you know, single player titles, non-competitive stuff, it's kind of crazy cheap. Though I think you can get 144 hertz for not that much more than this. Where's all the key specs? Actually, how do they not say the refresh rate on this? I'm just assuming at this price being Samsung, this one is not. This one is like 60 or 75 hertz. They just don't have the full specs? You have to go to their website, don't you? Yeah, this one's 75 hertz, okay. Yeah, that's right. So basically, you could stay ignorant by not dipping your toes into the higher end expensive stuff and just be happy in your little world. But once your eyes are opened up to it, you can't go back. For sure. Sarah Nova says, I use 2 Toshiba TVs. Gotta do what you gotta do. That's true. I mean, it's hard to beat free if you already have them on hand, right? Kale130 says, only way I'd get a monitor for that much is if my PC if the PC I was getting was at least 3500. Yeah. Yeah, please. I don't know. It just feels weird to me if you spend more on your monitor than your PC itself. I get it. You want to make use of what's in your PC and like, you know, take advantage of the full visual like niceness of it, but still, a PC does way more than a monitor does. A monitor just displays you something. A PC actually has more intricate, like, more high-tech stuff in it. It should cost more. Yeah, so, I mean, in terms of monitors, there you have it. Definitely check your local area. Pixio actually just sent me a one of the portable monitors, which I need to pick it up. It's at UPS right now, but Pixio portable monitors. You guys have seen this in my videos, and I'm sure some of you out there probably own this already. But yeah, they sent me their portable monitor. I already have one. But the one that I have is from a company called Lapal, which it's not the nicest one, but these portable monitors are so convenient for doing deals out of the back of my car, right? Like, you don't have additional power plugs for them. It's powered by USB. So I'm not sure if this one you can power by a single USB-C or not. But the fact is that to have the monitor be able to be powered by USB and like, let's just say like an HDMI cable or mini HDMI, it makes it so much more convenient to reduce the cable clutter from like a power brick that a monitor typically has. Like, you need less outlets for it. So these are also very useful for like having a second or third monitor right below your primary monitor and like in front of your keyboard. So you have your monitor in front, then you have the mini monitor right below it, and that's just for either taking notes or for having stuff playing on the background, things like that, so that you don't have to strain your neck like I do right now, having to look at my upper monitor. It's nicer to just have a little mini monitor right where your keyboard is. Arflet says it would be cool to watch Dr. Pimple Popper on one of those ultra wide monitors. Would it be cool, or would that be disgusting? Psycholic says the monitor is important because it is what you're always looking at, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I'm not saying go out and buy a $20 720p monitor in your local area, but I feel like with everything, you kind of get diminishing returns, right? Like the first $200 you spend on a monitor gets you a good enough visual image where spending the next $1,000 on it, is it really 5-6 times better of a user experience? Of course not. Nothing in tech or electronics is ever that case. The higher end you go, the more you spend, you're spending more dollar per like value, I guess. Oh Dude Gaming, welcome to Nerd on a Big Budget. Thank you for the channel membership. Join. I appreciate it. Thank you. Six says, when's the next LAN party vid coming? Been waiting for it. So I've been in major editing mode. Let me see if I can pull it up on the side. But the next one is gonna be the Texas LAN. Let me see if I can show you some previews from it right now. Texas LAN party stories. Okay. Hopefully this does not just blow up the PC. The issue is that there was 20 something hours of footage. So even with like SSDs and higher end PC, like I have an i7 and everything like that, it kind of bogs down. But let me show you, if I can show you. Okay. So browser, let's go to the window. If we look in Premiere Pro, here is the... Oh, you can't even really see everything because... Okay, so... You probably can't even see the numbers on the bottom. But I had to break it up into 2 days because Premiere Pro, I think it maxes you out at 12 hours or something. So you can see each of the color codes is a certain day. So we have purple day, which I've already edited down to an hour. But then you have these other days in the different color codes. And just, can you see over here, like the timestamp? It says like 8 hours. So here's only one part of the timeline. Here's the other part. And this part of the timeline is up to 17 hours right here. So I am editing it down. I'm not sure if it's showing it's not showing the preview for some reason. But yeah, I'm working on it. I promise you guys. There's just so much footage. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. So editing 20 something hours of footage down to, I'm trying to get it to like 2 to 3 hours. It's a lot of work. So just be patient. It should be coming soon-ish. Yeah, so I estimate the video being, I'm trying to get it, because I don't think anyone's gonna watch it if it's like 5-6 hours. I think like 2.5 hours would be the sweet spot, if not 2 hours. This is gonna be with a different group of people though, so I'm interested to see how that's received. It's not gonna be with Jan and the gang. It's gonna be with actually Mod Jason Whitmer. Mod Kevin Ngo is actually in the video because I went to Texas and Kevin is also down there, so he's gonna be in there pretty briefly. I mean, it's gonna be a super long, like 5-day video. We met up for a couple hours, so yeah. And then, so the thing is, so that's the Texas LAN, right? So just to give you an idea, that's the Texas LAN party video, which is gonna be coming out for sure in the next couple of weeks. Then I have the March LAN, which we had on March 10th. We called it Mario LAN. That is the one with the normal LAN crew that I also need to get to editing. So there's going to be 2 LAN party videos relatively close to each other. One with Texas crew, one with Washington crew. So, yeah. And then the next LAN party that we're actually having is going to be in September because the last one we had was in March. So they're about 6 months apart. So, yeah. Hey, what's up, Hazard Me? Okay, so we were looking at monitors. Uh, we can actually chill for a bit, and I can focus on chat. Hobbs says the Dell S34 2. Okay, let's put this in. My goodness, don't you wish monitor names are more like streamlined and easy to say? I like Pixios. So, okay, let's look at Pixio. If you look at how they name their stuff, I guess a name like PX20 222. Okay, that's. I thought they had like some shorter name. PX160, something like that. It's a nice name. Rolls off the tongue. PX257. What else? I thought they had some with shorter names, but I guess a three letter or 3 numbers isn't that bad. So Samsung's is S3422DWG. So this is what Hobbs has. $450. It looks like 1440p. 1440p ultra wide VA 144 hertz. Yeah, so these are very similar specs to mine, but it's probably because it's pricier. Let's see. Anything else special about it? This looks like a pretty beefy, like, in terms of the bezels and just the body of it. Oh, this is your LAN party monitor is a 400. Well, I mean, you probably paid something different than this, but is this monitor? That's a pretty nice LAN monitor. To have it like specifically or for the most part used for LAN. Mag78, thanks for the $5 super chat. What do we got here? I want to upgrade my girlfriend's CPU. She's currently on a 10100F on the Z590. I could do a 10700F, or I have a 1300F, so I could get a mobile instead. Yeah, if you already have a 1300F, the issue is, I think 10700Fs, aren't those still going for close to, like, I don't know, in the upwards of maybe 170, 180, if I had to guess? Let's see how much these are going for. Alright, oh no, they look like they're, oh, that's parts only. Let's see. What? If you're selling the cooling fan only, I hate you, eBay. Or I hate the way people do eBay for the clickbait. Why would you list this? Just say you have an Intel LGA 1200 cooling fan. Don't bait me in by putting this in. But okay, for the actual processor itself, the cheapest one that we can find that's not parts only is looking to be 160-ish bucks. It would be cheaper to get a new motherboard, but you're probably gonna make use of actually, what are you gonna do with the thing that you aren't gonna be using? Just gonna be selling it? Are you gonna put it into a build that you're gonna flip? Yeah, who cares about cores though if it's primarily just used for gaming? If it's just for gaming, I could see, especially I don't know, 1080 1440p, I can see the 13100F beating the 10700. Let's see if there's actual benchmarks. Let's see if there's real benchmarks out. 10700 versus 13100. I'm sure there's people showing it side by side. Hey, look, there's a video from there is a video from a benchmarker that I actually trust testing games. All right, let's take a look. Hey, what's up, Jason? We were just talking about you and the Texas Land Crew. So for Red Dead Redemption, the 10700, well, that's a 10700K. So just take off some frames here for a 10700F. I don't even know if this person overclocked or not. Did they say? System 10700K. What is the 10700K stock clocks? Let's see. We've got 10700K is 5. Max turbo is 5.1. Okay, what are they running at? They're running at 4. Okay, so it looks like they might not have a manual overclock on it. Unless they did an all-core 4.7. I don't know if it boosts that. So 13. So they're tied here. Again, the 10700F is gonna have slightly lower clocks than the K, even when this one is not manually overclocked. What do we have on Warzone? So 10700K. Oh, so it's actually doing better than I thought it would be. So it's about tied here in Horizon Zero Dawn. In Spider-Man, the 13100 wins. What else we got? Cyberpunk, the 10700 wins. Flight Simulator, about tied. 13100 wins a little bit more in Hitman. Witcher 3, what do we have? And the third, yeah, so they trade blows a little bit. So they're either tied. The 13100F wins by a little bit. The 13100 never wins by that much. But in the games where the 10700 wins, there are some games where it wins by a noticeable amount. But it's gonna be more expensive. Okay, so let's go back to what the original question was. Do you want to upgrade or you have a 13? Okay, I think just for the sake of your girlfriend's system, just to save you the hassle of having to undo. I hate taking motherboards out of cases. I hate swapping motherboards when doing like upgrading components. CPU's fine, hard drive or SSDs are fine, RAM's fine, graphics cards are fine. Power supply and motherboard are the two that are like the most annoying because you have to undo your cable management or routing to some degree. I guess for the motherboard you have to disconnect a number of things. Usually like 3 things, right? Graphics card, 24 pin, and then the 8 pin or 16 pin for the CPU. But yeah, I think it's much easier just to drop in the 10700 in your case. Just based on the numbers that we just saw in those benchmarks, I would not go through the hassle of buying a new motherboard for that 13100 and then having to swap that in and then dealing with because I think they have different mounting patterns, right, for the cooler. 10th gen versus 12th and 13th gen. If I recall correctly, yeah. So then you have to deal with a different cooler potentially. Just put the 10700 in and make your life easy. And yeah, like it will be more useful in non-gaming tasks. Like gaming, I would say side by side, they're close enough where it wouldn't really matter. But in other things, like I wonder how like game installation and load times the difference would be. That's something that you never really see tested, just because it's kind of difficult to test and like it's not that exciting. But what are the load times of games or like installation, because installing games also rely on the CPU. Like how fast your download is affected in Steam, but also how fast your CPU is, especially if you put a game into your Steam library that you already own and it has to detect the files. All that stuff is like CPU reliant. So I'm curious what the difference would be between the i3 13th gen versus 10th gen i7. They do, but some boards have universal mounting. Is LGA 12? Okay, so 1200 and 1700. Same mounting. Okay. Mounting holes. Wait. So Daniel Hulan said they're the same. But I'm trying to see if LJ 1700 socket won't be compatible with current coolers. According to this article. Although the PCB and new processor will be rectangular shaped, the pitch hole for installing coolers will likely remain square. How the difference between the center of the mounting holes? Well, okay, let's see. Yeah, so if the motherboards have elongated, it depends on if you got... If the cooler's older, it would be less likely that it would be compatible, right? It depends on if you bought a more current cooler when 12th gen already existed versus not, right? So yeah, I mean, it's gonna depend from case to case, but that might be an issue, so... It's just something you have to be aware of. I don't know, regardless, I think just the 1700 would be... not the 1700, the 10700 would be, like, the most pain-free way to do it. With most coolers, they have to give you a free upgrade kit. I remember when Ryzen first came out and a bunch of the company, not a bunch, but companies were sending out kits for them. You just have to, I don't know if for the most part you have to pay for it or if the company will pay for the shipping and stuff. And then you just have to wait for it, so... I mean, you still have the 13100 on hand to do something else with it, right? So, you'll find a use for it. Current gen budget parts like that, they're really popular. There's always people looking for it. And there's always a use case for it. Yeah, because even when the mounting holes are the same, sometimes from generation to generation, you have different heights with regards to, like, the CPU. How much they stick out of the motherboard. So you have to also consider that. It's not just with mounting hole pattern. It's with like CPU and with, you know, height differences. Socket plus CPU height. Corsair sent you the kit for free? Nice. I would hope Corsair would, considering how expensive their coolers are compared to some of their competition. Alright, so we talked about, let's just see if there's any new information about the AMD RX 7600 and 7600 XT. Anything in the news lately? So, speculation videos from people. I guess you can call it article speculation too. Yeah, 7 days ago. So, I think last week on Wednesday, right before the stream, is when everyone dropped their like little leaks on the 7600 XT or 7600. And just looking on Google, all these searches, like there's nothing within the last couple of days. So it doesn't seem like there's any major new news. Let me see. 17 hours ago. What is this? WCCF. AMD will launch mainstream. Okay, PC Gamer has something new. AMD to take on NVIDIA with affordable 7600 XT from Gizmo China. Video. Okay. Yeah, so I don't think this is going to tell us anything else new that we don't already know. Wait, unreleased already with the 7950 XTX, 7950 XTs, like these refreshes. Huh. Yes, 69 people watching. Very nice. Have these cards been out for long enough for refresh for us to already be talking about refreshes? It's been what, 6 months? These dropped in November, December-ish of last year. Why are there already refreshers? These are gonna be like the slightly more expensive, slightly more factory clocked versions. Firestorm says, what is the 7600 XT comparison? I don't understand your question. Are you asking what is it supposed to be comparable to? If that's the case, or if that's what the question is, honestly, probably, I mean, just based on what we know and how they typically do it, it's going to be between like a 6700 XT to a 6800. Performance is going to be between there. We don't know yet, though, Firestorm. We're gonna have to wait and see. I would love to be able to play with one of those beforehand, for like a day one review and maybe even like live stream benchmarking, but we'll see. Daniel Hulon says, I don't know if you covered this, but what are your thoughts? Yeah, so I think that just happened, like all that happened within like the last week, and we didn't know much about it. But so regarding the newer Ryzen processors burning, and if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check out the Gamers Nexus video on it. I think it's their newest or second to newest video. Yeah, this video right here. If you haven't watched this one yet, where they actually bought the parts from the people who had it burning and paid them so that they can get new ones. My thoughts on it, I don't think my opinion of AMD, since it's their processors, has shifted too much. I don't think any less of them really. It was a combination of both AMD and like the motherboard vendors, right? They didn't have the right protections in there according to the Gamers Nexus video, but you can't just blame it on the motherboard manufacturer, because AMD also has to be there with their checks and balances, and make sure that the companies that they're partnering with aren't just putting out boards that don't have the right protection. So you can blame both AMD and the companies, but I don't think this is happening on a widespread scale enough. Of course, it's being amplified by social media, right? It's happening to some people, a handful of people, you could say. And then once it gets to Twitter or Reddit or something, it becomes like this huge problem. But there's always been problems, maybe not to this degree or like to this degree of oversight with products over time. And what was the last one from Nvidia with the connectors burning when they weren't installed properly? Stuff like that. Unless it happens on like a wide scale, then it would affect my opinion. But yeah, if something goes wrong, AMD is gonna honor AMD, or I guess the motherboard company, they're gonna honor the warranty and send them a replacement. And also, there should be BIOS updates out now that will prevent that from happening in the future, right? I think one thing that Steve talks about in the video, though, is that for people, like probably the people watching the stream, we probably check up and update our BIOS more than the typical average PC user. If a system is working, an average user probably won't go in and update their BIOS. So if they have an old version of the BIOS that doesn't fix some of these issues, then yeah, they're gonna be more likely at risk. So I don't know. Jason. AMD apologists, say something nice about Nvidia right now. Okay, what is something nice that I can say about Nvidia? Nvidia is leading in terms of ray tracing performance right now with graphics cards. What? I'm trying to think, like, I think Nvidia's pricing makes them really hard to say really nice things about them. Yes, I love the color green. Green is a nice color. I have green back here. Yo, actually, let me change this real quick. All right. Now we got green versus red. We got lightsabers back there. Yoda versus Darth Vader, but we gotta have equal representation here in the background. Hey, Nvidia last 10 prices are okay. Jensen has nice leather jackets, and he is Nvidia. He is Mr. Nvidia. Jensen Nvidia. Those are some nice things. I mean, honestly, what do you... Nvidia is leading the charge in bleeding edge tech in regards to the consumer GPU space because they have the highest end graphics card that all other companies should strive to achieve, right? They are the leaders in performance with their 4090. Is that nice enough? 1v me. Oh yeah, we need to do a Halo stream. Kevin Ngo asked about that, I think last week or a couple weeks ago. It's probably too late to do it tonight because people would have to already have it passed and installed. So, I'm gonna put a note down about that to do that coming soon. Nvidia Firestorm says, yeah, Nvidia priced me out of the market. Like, even still, if you want a new Nvidia card right now, what do you have? What can you buy? What is there really to buy? $30 series. I will put $40 series too. You got the $280 3050. That's what you have. Amazon's probably not gonna be any better. Zotac cards, 3050s, 3050s. You just get 3050s all the way up to 300 something bucks. Reina Igra, hopefully I didn't butcher your name. AMD refuses to honor my warranty after... Wait. Asus is able to RMA my board, but AMD support refuses to help. Any thoughts? When did you actually file for that? I would think that after all the coverage that it's had, there's no way NVIDIA or AMD is gonna get around refusing to replace your CPU. Unless they're expecting Asus to also replace your CPU for it, but is this happening? Let me see. Let's see if this is a common topic. Where I think Reddit is probably like the best place where people will report this stuff, right? AMD refused to honor warranty. 70. Let's just do 7950. Your exact. Is there nothing recent? Exploding CPU? AMD is blatantly lying, but that's November 22. Three days ago. Okay. Did you by chance try to talk to Micro Center? How long have you had the system? Yeah, I wonder if their tune has changed or their tune will change. How old was this video? So yeah, Steve and GN crew covered it 3 days ago. So you should try again, or maybe try to get a different rep. You don't need no. This is something where you don't need insurance for. For something like this, it should. You're still well within the normal manufacturer's warranty. First of all, what is the warranty on these actually? So you have the 7950 X3D, you said. So we look up the chip. They should have the warranty specifications, driver support. What's the warranty? Full specs. It should be on here something. No warranty. Okay, it looks like we're gonna have to go to Newegg for that then, because they usually list the manufacturer's warranty length. Or Amazon, actually. Warranty and support. Okay, 30 days. Manufacturer's warranty. You can. Okay, you have to go to the website. Reina, you are screwed unless you're an influencer complaining on Twitter. If you tag Gamers Nexus, they would probably elevate it. I don't think I have enough clout to get their attention, unfortunately. I don't even have a direct contact to AMD. What is the... How can I not... Why is the warranty not, like, this easy to find? Maybe Newegg. Come on. Don't let me down, Newegg. Yeah, I know you're gonna have it here. Specs. I swear, anytime okay, warranty limited warranty period 3 years. I would assume that's, yeah. So for Newegg, their return policies, like for them, is 30 days, which is pretty standard. And I would assume this is a manufacturer warranty. So you should definitely be covered by something like this. Are you without a PC now? That's the only issue, which really sucks for like the average consumer. That doesn't have multiple computers laying around. If it's your only computer and you now are without a computer and dealing with these companies, what do, right? You could be out of a motherboard and CPU for weeks. So you could buy a temporary one from, something quick from Amazon, so you get quick shipping, like a lower end board and processor. But then you're spending money on that, and then you'll be left with the board and processor you don't need once you get the ARM-made parts back in. So oh man, okay. This is what you do, Reina. You take a screenshot of that email response. Obviously, blur out any private information from either you or AMD. You post it on Twitter and say, "Hey, Gamers Nexus, wonder what your thoughts are about this. My 7950 X3D exploded, just like you showed in your video, and this was AMD's response to me." And then Gamers Nexus will probably make a whole video, or at least a part of one of their videos about it, and get AMD's attention. Is that how Australia works? Shane Nestle is saying that in Australia, you take it back to the shop for the life of the manufacturer's warranty, which is really nice, because it is so much nicer to do stuff in person and to be able to like take it in and then get a direct replacement in person than to have to ship something out, wait X amount of time, and then to wait for the replacement to get shipped back to you. I wish that was the way things were done, because yeah, the stores, if they could handle interfacing with the companies, that would just make it way nicer. But then that is a lot of work. Honestly, yeah, okay, so chat, I'm actually curious of your guys' opinion. So you could, trying a different rep will always work, so I would try to see how far you could get with the current rep that you're working with. I would respond and say, and link the Gamers Nexus video and say, "Hey, this is kind of a widespread problem that you guys should be fixing. It's unacceptable that you think that this should not be covered by warranty." And if they still get nowhere with you, try to do it with a different rep. And then if that doesn't work, you can take to Twitter. The only issue is that you know how they're slow with responding. So every step of the process that you try, it might be 1 or 2 days in between as you wait for a response from them, which I get it. It is really annoying if your brand new computer that you just built has problems and now you're sit an unknown amount of days without it. Gamers Nexus said if it's this particular problem, it should be no questions asked. Wait, Reina. Yeah, Reina. So did it just happen out of nowhere that your CPU just burned? Like, or were you overclocking? Even if you were overclocking though. You think that overclocking, if something goes wrong, typically you would expect it to crash, reset, maybe require like, you know, a BIOS reset or whatever, and you should be good to go. You wouldn't really expect this to happen, I guess, unless you're pumping like a real unsafe amount of voltage into it, but yeah, that's the only issue though. So Jason makes a good point. So while I don't doubt that there are legitimate cases to a lot of like the issues that are going on, sometimes people leave out a big portion of the story where it might be user error that caused the damage. I'm not saying that's you, Reina, but yeah, without knowing the full details, it's hard to I guess give insight. Man, according to what Shane Eslick is saying, it looks like Australia really cares about its consumers. And they have a lot of different like laws or regulations in place where they're taken care of. Yeah, even in store or on web. Even Amazon, also if you bought on web, then shop is required to pay shipping both ways. Yeah. Here in the States, if you have to RMA something, I think you usually have to cover shipping to them, and then they cover shipping back to you. So it's like, why do I have to spend more money on a premature like failed part when it's not even my fault at all? It sucks. Reina says they turned off RGB on Asus motherboard and saw they didn't have the right RAM speeds. What does the RGB have to do with RAM speeds though? Those two seem unrelated. Played a couple of games on Yuzu emulating and it kept crashing. Next day it just didn't turn on. And then, so what does it look like when you take the CPU out? Do you have like a bulging CPU or burnt pins on the motherboard? Or is it just failed parts? Is there any physical like indication of the failure? H3456 says, I have a never mind. I have a stupid question, lol. I have a H81 mobile and i7 4790E and won't post. And I bought an i5 4460 and same thing. What chip do I need to update the BIOS? You shouldn't need to update the BIOS. The 80 series boards, what socket was that? I'm starting to forget all the different sockets, but let's see. 4th gen Intel socket. So it's socket 1150. I don't think that that's a BIOS issue, right, chat? It's maybe if you had the fifth gen Intel, then you need a BIOS update. But these two should be compatible with each other. H81 and then 4790, that should just be good to go. That sounds like either your CPUs are bad or your motherboard is bad or both. Yeah, if nothing works, it might be a problem with just the hardware. I don't think this should not be a BIOS incompatibility issue. These two, both a bulge and the pins. Okay, so basically, Reina, you're saying your damage looks exactly like what Gamers Nexus or the Reddit threads showed. So you have no overclocks, just XMP, or I guess XMP, AMP, DOHCP, whatever. What i5 12th gen CPU with integrated graphics do you recommend? I mean, what's your budget? The 12400 was always a pretty solid choice. Let's see what the 12400 versus 12600 prices are looking like. And why do you want only specifically 12th gen? You don't want... Well, I guess it comes down to the budget, right? How much do you have to spend? So 12600s are looking like they still go for... Geez. So 12600s are like 240-ish. And then the 12400 should be like 170, if I'm remembering correctly. 180. Amazon has a... that's the F version, though. So non-F version is looking like about 180. So you got about a $50 price difference. I mean... Yeah, what's your budget? I think you could go with either one. What's the 13600 going for? And then 13600s are all the way up to... $316. So yeah, it's like a $50 price jump each time. 12400 is gonna be the budget pick though. Hey, what's up, Shauner? Congrats, you're done with the semester. How many more semesters left total? 13400 would be pretty comparable to the 12600, but where are those going for right now? 13400s are going for... Oh, snaps, those are 219. Yeah, so... why were you asking specifically for 12th gen though? Do you not have like the capable BIOS for it? You don't want to talk about what's left. Fair enough, Shauner. DJ 1i, I did not. Let me see. What was your comment? Let me see. I had an HP Omen 30 liter gaming PC last December. I did a whole case swap due to the CPU hitting 95, which is a Ryzen 5800X. I now have a whole new case and a 240 AIO, but the GPU still hits mid 80s. Okay, what GPU do you have? Okay, Shane asked that. Let me read. You have a 3060 Ti. It's an HP Omen card. What does the HP Omen 3060 Ti looks like? HP Omen. So, I mean... It's just one of those basic black 2-fan cards, right? So you have high temps on it. You had the HP case, which isn't the best airflow to begin with, but you swap cases and you said the temps are still high. Let's see if this is a normal occurrence. Temperatures. So there's a David video, but it's the whole build itself. Trying to look for a video if someone has that particular graphics card. Huh. HP Omen 40 liter. Okay, here's a thread. Barely running 60 FPS on Warzone, hitting 85 degrees. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if it's just... Oh, here's another one. Yep, 3060 Ti, 5800X. This sounds like your system. Is this you? Did you post this thread? 90 degrees too hot for a GPU. Here's the thing. If you're not overclocking, even in a hot box of a case, if you are not overclocking, and you've got like a mid-range GPU, like a 3060 Ti is like mid to maybe entering upper mid-range, but it's by no means like a high-end GPU. Temperatures should almost never be an issue. Even if you have like a case with no front mesh airflow and stuff like that, these parts should not be running this hot. Maybe like in the 70s, you're hitting like what, mid 80s? Yeah, maybe in the mid 70s or something. I have put plenty of mid-range graphics cards into hot boxes of cases, and they typically don't run that hot. So if this is from an HP pre-built, I wouldn't be surprised if you're right in your assessment in that they just cheaped out on it. Okay, let's look at this comment. Hate to tell you this, especially since you already own the system, but it's 100% because you decided to opt for HP. The cases are meant to be hot boxes, okay, which is, I mean, the hot box thing is one issue, but, okay, they don't really talk about the GPU. The maximum temperature you want, your GPU is typically in the high 70s, yeah, that's about correct. I mean, the case is a hot box, but it's not like there's zero ventilation. Let me take a look at this thing again. Like, we've seen NZXT cases with similar levels of cooling. Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's zero ventilation in these cases. I guess it depends on which one there is, but you do have some side ventilation. And you have exhaust. What else is there? Yeah, something like this. This isn't a completely choked off box. There should be enough, like, some fresh air getting in there, so that you shouldn't be running that high of temps. DJI, are you part of the Discord server by chance? If you are, you can just post the picture into the... If you're part of the Discord, you can just post it into the stream. We have like a stream submissions area where whenever we're talking about something, you can just post a picture easily on here. But I think that's the easiest way. DJI, you can't post links, unfortunately, just because they might be malicious. I wish I could allow people to post links, like, when it's clearly a safe link, like Newegg or Amazon, but YouTube streaming tools are very limited. It sucks, so, just type the case name and I can pull it up. Alright, we got a, let's see. So, Kevin just posted this. $20? Whoa. Okay. $20 for the AX2, which is a pretty, like, so it's a TLC drive. There's no DRAM in this, but $20 for half a terabyte. There's no reason not to like upgrade to SSDs now from hard drives. If you are still on a hard drive, even a drive like this is worlds better than your spinning drive. Even without DRAM, even when it starts slowing down when it fills up, even when you give it like a bunch of random read-write tasks and it slows down, still better than a hard drive. Damien, okay, wait. For 4th gen, I hope you can see my above comment. The 4790 and 4460 could be BIOS issues. On the 80 chipset, those weren't true 4th gen chips. They were refreshes meant for... Oh, as opposed to like the 4770. Okay, you make... Let's see. Actually, if that's the case, it should be pretty easy to find. Let's see. Well, you said you had an H81, right? H81 47 BIOS issue. So it's a 4790K, no signals on the monitor. It cannot go into BIOS. But so what was your two? $47.90 not posting, but no one's answering. I hate it when you find these threads that has the exact question, right, that you're trying to ask, and you're like, oh, all right, there's gotta be an answer. Boom, 0 responses. Okay, that's not gonna answer it. Won't test, is dead. The easiest way is to look at that specific H81 motherboard that you have, which I didn't see if you posted the model. Which model board do you have? You need to go to your motherboard, the specific website for that board. Look at the BIOS list and compatibility chart. It should tell you for each BIOS version which chips are compatible with it. Yeah. Damien, thanks for actually bringing that up. How much is a 1TB GX2? So the AX2, the GX2, which is 1TB in the US is $51. How much is the AX2 1TB? Oh my goodness, $35 for 1TB. Ridiculous. I think cheap NVMEs are even cheaper. Cheap NVMEs, I think they've been hitting $40, right? Let's see, NVMe 1TB. Let's take a look at what we can find. Lowest price, because that's how we shop around here. Okay, let's see. Cheapest. Okay, so we got those. Kingdians. So here's one, but I don't know if I would go with a random brand. I would at least try to go for a brand that I'm a little bit familiar with. So here's Silicon Power, $40 here. What is this? No, this is a SATA. Where's the cheapest? Then SATA. Nope, we're still seeing SATA here. Here's it sounds like a. Not familiar with Fanxiang, but this is a 1TB NVMe drive. Okay. Yeah, some of these brands, when you sort by lowest price, I'm sure they're fine. Like, I'm sure these will work fine. But just for some peace of mind, let's keep going. Silicon Power, here we go. The cheapest one is the Silicon Power and PNY, $42. No excuse not to have a 1TB, at least, SSD in systems. Even if you got a budget system. Unless you're building like a $150 system. Like if you're, once you start approaching like $400, you could easily fit this within the budget. Yeah. Famous last words. I'm sure they're fine. Well, there's no point in buying the other ones if these ones are only going for $42. Just don't put anything important on there, you know? Back up all your important stuff. You can always redo a Windows install. You can always get Steam games again, unless you have a data cap. But, yeah, and once you start hitting that $40 mark, you just see a bunch XPG, Kingston, Silicon Power. They all have like a low cost option here. MSI, here's the Team Group MP33. And most of these are they're like all the same. They have similar read-write speeds. They're all DRAM-less. This one's actually TLC. Usually with the super cheap ones, you start getting into QLC, which have like lower endurance and lower rated lives. But still, you don't read and write that much. I promise you, you do not read and write that much onto your drives. Yeah, if you go for a 2 terabytes, I need to pick up a cheap 2 terabyte SATA SSD just for the older systems. Let me see. 2 terabyte SATA drives. If Amazon stopped being stupid and only show me the stuff I want to see. Well, I just filtered it by the 2 terabyte and up, and they're still showing me all this garbage. Amazon, how are you like the #1 online retailer and your search function and filtering is this bad? Daniel Hulan says, for grad school, we have to keep all of our assignments for our portfolio, not risking it. Yeah, dude, all your assignments should be backed up to like the cloud, regardless of how good your, whatever your system's SSD is or storage is. Email everything to yourself at least once, as well as back it up to the cloud. DJ1i, the case that you got was a Corsair 4000D. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty standard, you know, good airflow case. It sounds like it's the graphics card, honestly. The HP Omen graphics card that you have, I just, without even trying, I found multiple threads from Reddit of people complaining about it. I think that card, yeah, they just put. If we look at it again, actually, the fin thickness looked pretty shallow. If we look at the actual metal on it, it didn't look. Where's the better view? Maybe. Oh, actually no. This angle actually looks pretty normal. Yeah, I mean they might have just put a crappy cooler on it. Unfortunately. I mean this looks like what any OEM GPU looks like. Which is funny because I think, remember the Dell Alienware 3080? That was praised by Gamers Nexus, and it looked pretty similar to this for having good performance, and this HP Omen one apparently sucks and runs hot. Oh hey look, here's a video. Okay, there's no commentary, they just do a teardown. Where's the cooler? Do they have any temperatures? Nope. Yeah, they don't really show the temperatures here. I don't think. Oh, here we go. What is this running at? Temp. So theirs is running in the 80s. In a different case, or with the side panel open. I think you just got a bad card, unfortunately. Not a bad card, but a card from a bad line of cards. If you're gonna get a CPU to try to update the BIOS, just get like the cheapest Pentium or Celeron or whatever that you could fit in there that is a part of the compatibility list. You need to know the exact motherboard number. You can't just say it's the Asus golden one, the H81. You need to look up the actual model number, look at the website, and see which boards were compatible with the earliest BIOS versions. And then just buy the cheapest processor you can, update the BIOS, and then put in your intended chip. Or borrow it from someone. H3456 is 70 or 5800X is running in the high 80s. Doing what? If you're doing okay, the whole thing about temperatures is, and I don't know, I feel like people don't realize that if you are doing things like running Prime 95, Cinebench, IDA, if you're running all your cores and threads at 100% for an extended duration of time, it is supposed to run hot. If you're on like just kind of like normal to adequate cooling and you don't have anything kind of crazy going on, like huge radiators or liquid nitrogen or stuff, most use cases do not, like when you game, you ever look at your CPU utilization? It does not use all your cores at 100%. It normally doesn't anyways. Some games, when they're not optimized, or some games will do weird stuff like that. But for the most part, if you're just gaming, CPU temps, I would say anywhere from like the 50s to low 70s could be fine with no issues. If you're running into like the 80s while gaming, I would definitely question the cooler, the thermal paste application, or how fast the fans are running. I don't think running at 80 for gaming should be normal. Yeah, Brian T is explaining exactly how it should be. For gaming, because it's using like only part of the cores and threads, and it's not running it nearly as much. Most games for modern systems, most of the time you run into GPU bottlenecks, right? So the CPU still has some headroom. So gaming should be much lower than when you run something like Cinebench, which will definitely crank it up to like 90 degrees, which again is, for a lot of CPUs, is still safe, like before it even starts throttling. It just runs hot, but they were designed to do so. All right, what time? Oh, we are an hour and 50 minutes in the stream, so we're about to hit the 2 hour mark soon. What? I actually need to start planning a lower cost build soon. I have a video that will be coming up in about a month or so. Around the $400 price point. When is the Nob Reacts channel going live? I don't know if that's going live. For $400, if before even looking into parts, if I had to do a $400 used parts PC build right now, I'm thinking i3 10100, because that, I hope that's still the like kind of like budget king. Sometimes the prices, oh, when did is there any used ones? Oh no, the cheapest one is 62 bucks. Actually, wow, I can't believe the price has not shifted. These have been 62 bucks for like over a year now, I feel. The 10100F. I would have hoped they would be below 50 by now. So I'm thinking, so the way that I plan out builds, I always think of the CPU and GPU first. We can always fill in the rest of it pretty easily. Like, case, everything else is very standard pricing, right? So if we spend, so the motherboard and CPU are gonna allocate probably near 100 bucks. That would leave maybe 150 for the graphics card, and then we would have to put 150, because power supplies are so expensive right now, into the rest. So it's more of the question, what is the best graphics card that you can find if this is going to be used for gaming? And I'm thinking, so 150 bucks, is that 5700 XT territory? Let's see, are those regularly going for 150 bucks right now? Oh, well, parts only. That doesn't work. Can't do parts only. $150. Wow. Sorry, I was not sharing the right screen. No, yeah, so 150 bucks. I'm pretty sure if I picked one, yeah, let's look at my local used area. 5700 XT. 150 here. I would have to, there would be no tax if that was the case. I only want to do local. 5700 XT. So there is one for 150. Another one for 150. Ooh, I like that sapphire one. Anything cheaper? Stop showing me expensive full builds. There's a cooler. Here's one to read description. What is, there's no description in here. Oh, wait, looking to trade? Okay, I'm not looking to trade. So there's two of them near me for 150 where I have to drive to go get them. Or if I buy online, it's 155, but I have to pay tax on it. DJ1i, I don't think you're doing anything wrong, honestly. I mean, short of repasting the card, and maybe they did it bad at the factory, it looks like that card is just running hot. I don't think your 3060 Ti from HP, I don't think you're doing anything wrong to make it run that hot. Yeah, you can post a picture in the Discord, and I can pull it up, but honestly, just from the multiple Reddit threads we found, I think those cards were just not designed well. Yeah, so this is AMD side of thing. If we were to look for, so for 150 bucks, I don't think GTX 1080s are that low yet, but we can take a look in both my local area. Oh, it is that low in my local area. What is it on eBay? On eBay, the lowest, stop giving me broken parts. I already put the filter in, you stupid website. Used only. This doesn't have a cooler though. All these water blocked cards. Important, must read. I wonder what's wrong with this 1080 right here. Important, read description. Okay. This one is going for, what is it? 23 shipping. Oof. With so it's 100 with 23 shipping. Works. Working at 40% capacity. Working at a 40% capacity. If stressed, will shut down. I'm trying to think. If you need a properly 100% efficient one, do not buy this. Working at 40% capacity. How would you... I don't even know how you would be able to limit the card from, because it sounds like it crashes or something. Yeah, it will shut down if it's stressed. Even if you put a frame cap of like 30 FPS, I feel like the card will still run in modern games above 40% capacity. So this card is essentially just for display out if you are using Windows or like not doing any gaming or any like rendering on the GPU. Huh. So this 1080 is 110 or best offer. Oh, okay, wow. So it's cheaper. 100. So this one would be 130 bucks about. I'm not a fan of the blower style cooler, but 130 bucks for 1080 level performance, not bad. What is the minimum? So here's the thing though. The more powerful, like a 10, what is the minimum power supply requirements for a 1080? I think it might be able to do 600 watts. What does NVIDIA say? I don't remember this. 1080 PSU requirements. According to NVIDIA, oh, it was only 500? Okay, so that actually wouldn't be that bad. What does it say on their official website? So here's the 1080. I thought I could remember. I could have sworn these were higher powered cards. Power requirement. Minimum power supply only 500. Oh heck yeah, easy. All right. So for a $400 build, I think 1080 might be the way to go, especially for reselling. Let's look at the... We gotta look up some quick benchmarks. It's been a long time since I played with the 5700 XT, and I don't even know if I played with the 1080 that much. Here we go. This is a 5700 versus a 1080. Oh, if this is the case, then 5700 is actually beating it. That means the 5700 XT would definitely beat it. But does 5700 XT cost more? So it's gonna be around either 5700 XT, which is about 150, or 1080, which is looking to be like 130. And use the Ares game 500 watt. How much are those even going for? They used to be so dirt cheap on Amazon, but now I could have sworn these used to be like 30 bucks or something. Because you used to be able to get the 600 watt version for 40. But 50 bucks almost for even an Ares game 500 watt. So at that point, it's not even worth buying. It's worth... I'd rather buy an open box like Corsair or something. But see, the issue with the $400 PC is, unless you can get a really good like local deal for like a $20 or $30 power supply, you're gonna be ending up spending nearly 50 bucks, which is like 12%, 12.5% of the total budget on the power supply. But yeah, okay, so the build is gonna be like 10100 with 1080/5700 XT. Between the two though, because afterwards I think I'm gonna sell the build. Having the NVIDIA card in there, unfortunately, will help the resale value more. Kryptonic HD, what's up, Luis? RX 580s, I think, well, 580s are, they're too inexpensive. I still have those 580s that I bought from that miner. So I wouldn't buy a 580 just because for a $400 build, if you're trying to like maximize the gaming performance, there are other cards that you could still fit within that budget. 580s, because you can get them for like, I picked up mine for 50 bucks each, right? Or it worked out to 50 bucks each. You could say one was 40, one was 60, but whatever. That would fit into even a $300 build. So I'm just trying to get the most performance out of 400 bucks. I mean, I think the what's up, Death? Yeah, 480s are fine. The poor man's 580, the non-refresh, the precursor to the refresh. Yeah. How much are 1080 Ti's going for? So those, let's take a look. Working board with EK water block. Yeah, that's the issue with these ones. Then I'm gonna have to spend another 40 bucks to get a cooler on top of it. And that will definitely push over budget. Hey, it finally kept the filter. Okay, so 1080 Ti's are fan defects, blower style. Wow, so this one's 160. Wait, this Ti? Why would you name it like this? GTX 1080 graphics card Ti. So what card is this actually? It is a Ti. Okay, according to the picture. So not used for mining, fully tested. Okay, reputable seller, 90, almost 99% positive feedback. So 160. So we're already at like 260 after everything, and we still need to get case, RAM, power supply, and storage. With the remaining $130-ish. That's gonna be pushing it. Especially because cases... Can I find like a dirt cheap PC case in my local area? Even used PC cases, I'm not gonna be able to find one for less than 40 bucks. Death Tech says, I sell 1080 Ti's around 165. That dude's lying through his teeth saying they weren't mined on lol. Yeah, I mean, they probably were mined on. I feel like any card from that era of when the mining boom took off did some kind of mining. Especially from a power seller on eBay. That dude had like, how many? Over 5,000 sales? Yeah. Probably mined on. DJ1i28, thanks for the help you sent him in Discord. Okay, what do we got here? Stream submission. So here's DJ1i. Okay. Oops. Oh, I did not mean to download that. I mean, just taking a look at... I don't think you're doing anything wrong. It looks like you just have a standard build. I mean, your cable management could be cleaned up a little bit, but that's not gonna affect your thermals by any means. Yeah, I think it's just the card. Wait, didn't you say you had a 4000D? Why is the front not... Oh, yeah. I was thinking the 4000D airflow. Yeah, you have the tempered glass 4000D, but even then, that should be fine. So it looks like you're using the tempered glass version of the front, if I'm seeing that correctly. Because if it was the airflow version, you would definitely see kind of like the triangle grille. But even with the tempered glass front, I mean, you could pop that off. I don't think your temperatures are going to change that much, which means it's just a problem with the graphics card. Yeah, so here's an experiment you can try doing to prove that it's not your case. Just pop off that tempered glass because it has those easily poppable pegs on it. Take it off and let it keep running and see what your temperature difference is. I don't think it's going to change by more than a few degrees. You're still going to be running in the 80s with that HP 3060 Ti. DeathTech says, I like when the seller says never mind on and their business name and website is literally a site that sells GPU mining kits. Yeah. Well, let's go back to the seller, right? So this person said never mind on. Let's see what they have. Oh my goodness. eBay verification. Containing a castle. Okay. I am human. Omaha Blue. Let's see. You're selling cards that have not been mined on, but you have a ton of... Wow. Why is there such a big price difference? Look at this. This person is selling two... They're both blower style, but one is the Founders Edition. So I understand there's some... There's like, you know, some premium that comes with the Founders Edition. But look at the price difference between these two. These are both 1080 Ti's. Why can't I open this in a new tab? eBay. Why? Oh, because you're trying to do this. Okay. Interesting. This one does not say never mind on, but it costs $60 more. Huh. No one would live in Omaha willingly. They are there for cheap power to crypto mine. You might have a good point there. Yeah, I just find it so strange. So, I'm gonna have to actually... So... Alright. I think finding everything else will be just kind of random depending on what pops up on my local offer up. But... in terms of, for $400, I don't really think you're squeezing out much more performance than like an i3 10100 and the fattest graphics card being either a 1080 or a 5700 XT, right? Like, I think those two, maybe a 1080 Ti, but I don't think there's any other comparable parts from like a different generation that would be found for much cheaper than what we just saw. Like, if you wanted a 2070, that's gonna be... How much is that? 160? There are some for 150. That's parts only, never mind. Parts only, so yeah. 2070s start at around 200 bucks if they're not broken. So yeah, that would... 400 bucks, it would be way too hard to fit within the budget. Using half of it for the graphics card. A 1070, well, I think if we can fit a 1080 in it, there would be no reason to get a 1070. For a gaming PC, I don't think it's worth spending less on the GPU to spend more on things like RAM. I think 16 gigs will be fine. I don't think it's worth taking the extra like 30 or 40 bucks from the graphics card to put it in the RAM. If you're looking at a pure FPS performance, having more RAM is useful for other uses, but if you're trying to maximize FPS per dollar, the graphics card is where you need to throw the most money at. Are there ways to replace parts of a mined card and sell as not mined? I think the issue is it wouldn't be worth doing. Not whether or not you could completely replace the onboard components, right? Let's say you replace everything, so you would have to buy it and then put in the effort to do so. Are mined on cards versus not mined on cards, are they even being sold for that different of an amount? Is the Discord notification going crazy for you guys? Can you guys hear that? I don't know which Discord server I am is going crazy on, but if... Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Wait, why is this not on my... Oh, it's because I have the browser on. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna get... It's this right here. It's because of my browser version of Discord. I could have sworn, I was like, I have my Discord notification turned down. Why is it still pinging? And it's because the browser version, as opposed to my actual program on my computer. My bad about that. It's because I have the Chrome browser still playing sound because, you know, I guess I don't need it to play sound, but... Adrian says, just got back from work. Nice. Stream is about to end. We're just kind of hanging out for this last few minutes, but... What CPU GPU combo would you do for a $600 compact ITX budget build? Daniel, are you saying it's a $600 total price? If that's the case, I need to know how much you have to spend on a CPU and GPU. It's too hard to give you an answer for that without knowing what case you're intending, what power supply. Just because like SFX power supplies for a compact ITX, they're really expensive. Like a decent SFX power supply easily runs into like $100. So that's already 1/6 of your budget for a part that doesn't even really impact performance. Then filling it out with RAM, storage, like a ITX motherboard, you're eating into your budget fast enough. So depending on what you choose for it, I would think though, for 600 ITX, you're not going to have that much left to spend on it. So I would just quickly throw out there an RX 6600 and then like a i3 12100 or something. And that might not even fit because of the ITX parts. Building a $600 normal sized PC with standard sized components for $600, you're already going to be looking at around a 12100 RX 6600 range of parts. Making it ITX, that's going to drive the price up, so. Oh, yeah. Oh, is the Revolt 3 running that special? That's a really good deal. Let me see. If that's the case, then you already have the couple of the hard parts done. With the power supply, is this one you got $200? With no power supply, the case is already 130. And then you add in a 700 watt unknown power supply, but at least it's SFX and fits in here for $200. So yeah, that leaves you with $400 to get the rest of the parts. So I mean, 200 is going to be towards the RX 6600, around 90 or so towards the 12100. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all you can fit in it. 600 is very tough to execute for it. But I mean, you got some value parts like this. How much are the 12100s going for? Yeah, $100 on Amazon. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to fit this in unless you go use parts. Because if you have this for $100 and a $200 graphics card plus the $200 case power supply combo, you're already at $500. You still need RAM, motherboard, and storage. There's no way you're fitting those three, especially an ITX motherboard, into $100. So you're gonna have to go a little bit cheaper on maybe get a 10th gen i3, and then maybe get a used graphics card that's in like $150. Maybe the 5700 XT we just looked at. Then you start freeing up some of your budget to finish out the rest of the build. He already got the case though. He already bought the Revolt 3. So he's going with this, and I think it ate up 200 of his budget, unless he got it on a different sale. The Core V1. $60. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Core V1. Just aesthetically, like I know it's tiny, but I never really liked the thermal take, like super tiny cases. They just never looked appealing to me. Used 6600s? Shoot. I don't think they're cheaper than 5700 XTs, which in that case, the 5700 XT is the better deal. But let's see, I might be wrong. Oh, they're the same price. 150. No, wait. It's a little bit more because of shipping. Yeah, so they're, except for this one-off one, they are more expensive. 175. 175, 180. So unless you can snipe this one-off one. Shauner with the link. Meshify Nano. Mesh by 2 nano black tempered glass. This looks like a case that should be able to fit in a standard ATX power supply. Am I right in guessing that? Let me see. Where is the features? Okay, yeah. This is kind of like one. So this is one of those ITX cases that's not really small form factor. It's just slightly smaller than a micro ATX, and I mean it's similar to like the NZXT H200 series or like the Fantex P200. They're like these smaller towers that's in between. And the good thing about it is that you can save on the power supply, but it looks like it's only ITX motherboard, so it's a premium there. But yeah, I mean, Fractal design, very solid. Kind of like a more premium company usually, but on sale for $50, kind of hard to beat. Sacred Beats, love your channel. Just join your Discord. Thanks, I appreciate it, and welcome to the Discord. Okay, so H3456, never mind, says this is the, okay, so let's take a look. I do want to figure out this BIOS thing. So this is the motherboard you have. Okay, support. So this is what you do. You go to support. Come on. CPU and memory support. Okay, so you go to the CPU memory support, and unfortunately for you, you might not know what BIOS is in here, but validated since PCB. Let me see, BIOS version. So let me look at the BIOS. You can't sort by it, huh? But so what do you have? A 4790, you said? 4790K. So that required. Okay, we need to look at the actual BIOS list. Where is it at? Drivers and tools should be in here. BIOS with the BIOS and firmware. Here we go. So if we look at all the different BIOS versions, just to look at the numbering scheme. So it looks like it started off on 0215, and then it goes up from 200 to 300 to 500. Okay, 800, then to the 2000s. Okay. So if we go back to CPU and memory support, so you had a 4790. So some of the earliest 4790K specifically needed kind of a newer one, but there are some older BIOS versions like 705, 705, 705 but those still might not have been the ones that yours was shipped with. And then what else did you say you had? A 4460? 4460, yeah, also 705. So let's go back and look at the BIOS and look at the date on those. So 705. So the first BIOS version was July 2013. 705 wasn't until supports new 4th gen. Oh yeah, it says it right here. Okay. So that was I think Damien was the one who pointed out. It was when they did the refresh and released the newer 4th gen chips, and you need this BIOS version. So this is what you do. You go and you look on this list. You look on the compatibility, CPU memory support. You look for anything that has an older BIOS version. Just scrolling through like 304. Okay, that's a Xeon. Maybe you don't want to grab one of those. Let's look at like the Celerons, because those would be cheap. The Celeron, this would work. Wait, validated since. For using. Is there any older ones here? Do you want to be safe and get the right CPU? You get the i3 4130. That's like the OG BIOS right there. It should be guaranteed to work. Let's see what these go for on eBay. Probably like 30 bucks. Oh! Does this work? Only $9? Really? This... Wait. This isn't working condition? I'm surprised. Because the 4130 was still... The 4130 is old. But it's still got 4 threads, I think, right? 2 core... Yeah, it's 2 core, 4 threads. So it's not like... It's not as bad as like some of the Celerons or Pentiums out there. Like 4 threads is the difference... 4 versus 2 threads is the difference between like... You being able to even play games at all versus a complete stuttery freezing mess. So, if you wanted to update your BIOS, you buy something like this. Free shipping, best offer, $5.99. Yeah, this is $6 plus tax, free shipping. As long as it's not broken. All hardware is tested, verified working, no missing damaged components. Wow, are any of you surprised by how cheap this is? Because I would have thought this would have been at least $15, if not $20. I'm very surprised. Because for me, I have usually found that, especially with like old AMD stuff, you just saw me go through a whole thing trying to get AM3 Plus processors. But so long as the CPU, like hardware is not broken, and it's still somewhat usable in some sort of way, usually there's a price floor. And for something like this, I would not have thought it would have been $6. Demon Mitt. Yeah, but you got a 6100 for $5, but was that on eBay? There's a difference between like eBay versus other marketplaces or forums or Discord servers and stuff. eBay being like the standard pricing, right? Or the quote-unquote more standard normalized pricing with no random lucky deals here and there. This is, to me, is a little surprising. Yeah, I would have thought that... I mean, you could still use this for like your mom or grandma's PC to browse and check email and stuff. And it's still going to be worlds better than like a Celeron from that same era. So, yeah, this is... Yeah. Well, no, eBay isn't only 13% overdue their pricing fees. There's a higher percentage over what the price is compared to like OfferUp and stuff, because it's just more reach with both buyers and sellers. So on top of that fee and taxes and stuff, there's just items just hold higher value here. Yeah, you're right. So, okay, so we're gonna play a game here. So, Jason makes a good point. There is a massive pile of workstations and stuff like that, office PCs, that you had 4130s in it, and now they're being like, deconstructed and sold for parts and stuff. That is what we saw similarly with the Sandy Bridge, right? i3 21, what is it, 2130s, 2120s, whatever the i3s were from Sandy Bridge. So if we were to look at that, do you think they would be cheaper than this, the same price, or more? Let's see, i3 Sandy Bridge. What was the most popular Sandy Bridge i3? Let's take a quick look. We'll probably say the 2120. Which ones were in the Dells? i3 21 something. i3 2120. Okay, so 2120s were in a bunch of Dell Optiplexes. So now let's take a look at what that gives us. Buy it now, lowest price. So 2120 for $475, $499. So just barely cheaper. So, and then it quickly gets up to like $6 and stuff. So yeah, if you want to do a BIOS update, I mean, this is pretty much the way to go for that specific H81 board that you have. So buy this. So here, there's a very high chance that you did not get ripped off and you just need an updated BIOS. There is a very small chance that even after you update the BIOS with the working, or no, not even with the working CPU, there's a very small chance that you do have problem with your hardware. So even if you get this chip, if you still don't get anything to post, then it's gonna be the motherboard, I would think. So yeah. DJ One Eye, you did send it to, sorry. Yeah, I was still answering that. So DJ One Eye 28, do you think a 3-fan GPU would fit this case? Yeah, it would. First of all, thanks for the $10 super chat. You didn't have to you didn't have to do the super chat, well, but maybe I might have missed it if you didn't do it. But yeah, it tells you, so you have the 4000D, which should be able to fit 300 something millimeter cards. And what card? You have a 3060 Ti right now. So let's say you replaced it with, let's even pick a longer card than that. So what are the tech specs of this thing? So 4000D can fit cards up to compatible. Where is it at? Graphics card. Maximum okay, where's the GPU length? 360 millimeters right here. So the 4000D max GPU length 360, right? This is the airflow, but yours is the same thing, just with a different front. If we were to even go on Newegg and look up an RTX 3090, which you're probably not going to buy if you're going to buy something around the 30. Here's a Strix model, which is pretty huge. What is the specifications of this? Specs. Length. Where's the length? What the heck, Newegg? Where's all the useful information? How does the specs... Are you kidding me? Really? You could go into PC Part Picker, but I would have thought Newegg usually lists how long the card is. Ugh. You're killing me. So we look up a 3090 on ASUS's official website, because it's like a high-end long graphics card. This better have the length on it. Tech specs, here we go. What is the length on here? It is 319 millimeters long. So yeah, you could fit, the 4000D is pretty much gonna fit almost every single graphics card you can fit, you can think of inside of it. You don't have to worry about it. Shane Essex said, how much for a Z87? Z87 motherboards? Didn't we pulled that up earlier, right? For working ones, they were like 50 bucks. Nope, not ending soonest. We want lowest price. Yeah, yeah, so about 50 bucks for the cheapest Z87. I think, is this the same one that they have? They said it was Asus with gold. Huh. Oh no, they had a H81. Yeah, so it's funny, motherboard prices costing what? 40 from 6, like 7 times, 8 times more than the CPU itself. Which is kind of, well, but this is a high-end motherboard. All right, we are 30 minutes over when I said I would stop soon. So we have, I'm just gonna chill for the next 5-10 minutes. No more going back in the browser. That's the issue. Whenever I go back in the browser, then we go down another rabbit hole of things to look for and look at. So, what's for dinner? That's a good question. I think Costco has these. Oh, I'm not gonna go back to the browser though. We did in the LAN party. So there's like the basil pesto jar from Costco with some pasta, and then those it's like chicken teriyaki meatballs that they have in the cooler section. That's like such an easy, quick meal. So I think I'm gonna do that. No, Shauner, no one. Yeah, a 47 would fit. DJ I28. The 4070 is a really small card. It is like unbelievably small. It might be as small as your 3060 Ti actually. Most of the models. So yeah, the 4070 would be no problems. You could fit it in there, and it's very low powered. So yeah, and no, Shauner, we're not going back in the browser. No, Jason. You know, I'm gonna pull up on my phone. You think you could trick me? You think you could trick me? All right, I'll pull up the teriyaki meatball because it's the food. But then we're gonna leave the browser real fast. Here it is. It's this brand right here. Boom. This guy, Idel's teriyaki and pineapple meatballs. If you ever see this at Costco, pretty good stuff. With like basil pesto and pasta. I don't remember what LAN party it was, but I didn't stick in the browser, so not easy clap. You couldn't trap me. Tyson fried chicken tenderloins are really good from Costco, just as good or better. So with me is, I need to find like a good like fried chicken patty tenderloin thing that's spicy. Because I like spicy chicken sandwiches way more than I like normal chicken sandwiches. We just got back from a Costco run. Their imported Asian section is insane these days. Yeah, man, Costco they got a lot of Asian stuff now. Like some of the stuff that you would used to think you only could get from the Asian stores, like they got at Costco now. They got Lee's coffee. If you never had Lee's coffee before at Costco and you walk by it in the frozen aisle, you should try it. Lee's coffee is the good stuff. Very strong Vietnamese coffee, but no, Shauner, you can scroll back. I'm not going back. You can scroll back in the timeline. Yeah, DJ One Eye 28. Your 800 watt PSU is more than enough for the 4070 and your 5800X. You've got a lot of overhead in there. Your system could honestly probably run fine on a 600 watt PSU. So, yeah, 4070 is very, very low powered for its, you know, how powerful it is. That is. Okay, let's see. Alright, I think that's gonna wrap it up for stream though. You guys trying to get me to open the browsers. But thanks for being here chilling for these 2.5 hours as always. So I'm not gonna have a video this coming weekend because there is a product release next week. There's an embargo for a product release. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because I'm not allowed to. Don't get excited though because it's not a graphics card. We already know those aren't going to come until end of May or June, according to the leaks. But it is a product leak of something. So I'm working on that, and then after that video should be the LAN party Texas video. So that's what those two videos I am currently working on. But if you have not joined the Discord server yet, be sure to join because you can catch me there throughout the week. And then, yeah, other than that, I will see you next week as well as in the next the comments of the next video or on Twitter and Discord. So everyone take care. Have a good rest of your night. Have a good rest of your week and weekend coming up. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.